Cause your vibes is so pretty to adjust. You are one to never trust. Your voice feels dead, dry roses, such a pity. You're so silly. You're so silly.
Okay, so I am going to be doing, I decided to do the Aquarius and Gemini. I decided to do those over. For one, some of the stuff I was speaking about is pretty much irrelevant now. And another thing is I've already spoke on it, so I'm not going to be repeating myself too much. But and another thing, I want to keep it at a minimum, you know, which is too long. And I don't want to have to do a part 2 unless it's important, you know what I'm saying? And these are just like little financial messages. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just financial messages, but and if I'm, you know, drawn to, like, you know, do something else, then I will, okay? But yeah, this is what this is. So when I went to work today, one of the ladies came up to me and said, real quiet like. She said, I like your wig. I said, thank you.
The real Dr. CB Botana oil, it really
like a wig,
works.
But it ain't. It's just all thickness, Joe. It's thick. It gets really thick. And I come to realize that when you you know, just let her be free. Let things be free and let it be. You know, it grows like crazy. You know what I'm saying over there? And it's like, this was pretty much like my, just kind of like used to thin just a little bit there. Let's get better over there. But you know, it's Botana oil for you. But you know, the more you let your hair just be free, I guess, you know, let it just do its own thing. Then it starts back getting thick, you know. So usually I would just put, you know, wet it and let it air dry. And today, I don't know, I actually woke up, and instead of just doing the full wash like I normally do, I just let it wet a little bit, and I just let it just do its own damn thing. But anyway, yeah. And just to think that I was really gonna go out here and buy me a damn wig that looked like this. I mean, ridiculous, right? Checkmate. How have you been doing? Trying to get messages through, huh? Alright, for the first Deacon Aquarius, as you can tell, it came out again. Alright, it says face your financial fears. Alright, it says when you are honest with yourself about fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Alright, be free of hidden fears by exposing them, you know, to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you in fact have nothing to fear. And that everything, you know, successful person has struggled, because all successful people have struggled at one point in time in their life with, you know, and released these self-doubts. So technically you really need to release your self-doubt. Okay, so the first card that came out, like I was saying, it says when you are honest with yourself about fears of success, of failure, it says they can no longer control you. Okay? Alright, it says be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you in fact, you know, have nothing to fear. and that every successful person has struggled with and released these, self-doubts. So if you are struggling with, fears of succeeding and failing, because I know, some days for me, and I feel like, some days for a lot of people, some days you might not have fear, and then some days you might have a fear. You know what I'm saying? Some days you might be positive about the situation and be like, oh, I ain't fearing it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and a lot of times we all can get like that, to the point where you might feel like you don't have anything to fear. And then some days you might. But from experience, and even though people might be experienced in these things of thinking positive, when you think positive and you don't have nothing to fear, you won't. Here to tell you, but for some reason, sometimes you might have those feelings where you might start feeling like, you're not succeeding, or you might not succeed, and you might just get, all up in your feels. But know this, that is a projection. Someone, perhaps, some type of energy of some sort. You might even be picking up somebody else's fears, you know what I'm saying? Or someone could be projecting that type of energy onto you. Don't let that happen. You know what I'm saying? Let that stuff go and let it go by its merry own way. And this is for the first deacon, Aquarius. Just let go of, let go and face your fears. It's all about in the knowing, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so we're going to go into the second deacon, Aquarius. Nothing but dies like God Almighty, archangels, ancestors. Evil is never welcome here. I do not like this incense. Ugh. And, I'm sure the spirits like it though. I don't. I'm just so used to my freaking original sandalwood. Lord, I will be hitting the store up soon. Okay, second deacon, Aquarius. Second deacon, Aquarius. How in the world? What am I gonna do now? See, I got one here that flipped over. I got another here. Alright. I'll just take these over. I'm gonna redo because I only want one. Just one. One. Second deacon. This. Same cards. Alright, if it comes out like that again, I'm just gonna have to take them. Okay? Alright. Is it a must because I'm gonna take one for everybody?
Don't you feel silly? Gotta kiss, say her
I'm gonna do it
name.
again.
No magic over the
Second deacon,
to contain you
Kornerz.
just mad. Cause your vibes are so pretty to adjust. You are one to never trust. Your voice feels dead, dry roses, such a pity. You're so silly. You're so silly.
Windfall of abundance. Okay, so we have windfall of abundance. It says an increase in abundance is arriving in many different forms. Alright, it says some of them unexpected. Be open to receiving and know that this abundance comes to you, to support your life purpose, health, and charitable work. And you see, there's Santa Claus there. And Santa's giving food to the beautiful little animals. Here's a treasure chest. And he's like giving them all kinds of little fruits and things. However you may, I know a lot of people don't, like to associate themselves when it comes to Christmas, you know what I'm saying? But everybody has their way of doing the things that they like to do, period. Me personally, I don't celebrate Christmas, but you know what I'm saying? I know other people that do, and what's those saying? Agree to disagree, and accept people for who they are and as they are, Just because somebody likes one thing doesn't mean that if you don't like it, that, they're a bad person. It's not like that. Everybody has a, some type of opinion on things, like an asshole, But, yeah. Santa Claus, I look at him like the, the King of Pentacles, you know what I'm saying? Because when you see Santa, people are spending a lot of money. And, it's all about gifting and giving, receiving and giving, you know what I'm saying? But, you see Santa here. He's the one that's supposed to be the giver, And that's what he's doing. So perhaps, you might be looking at something, somebody's going to be bringing you something. Either something unexpected or something expected, however you may look at it. But just be open to receive. And if you have to do an affirmation on that, you could say, I am open to receive, keep saying it over and over and over. And be like, I know I'm going to receive, and then talk to God about it as well. All right, so we're going to go to the third Deacon Aquarius, okay? Alright, nothing but the highest like God Almighty, Archangels, Ancestors, evil is never welcome here. Okay. Third Deacon Aquarius. Third Deacon Aquarius. Oof, better not be them same cards again, child. Okay. Well. I'm just going to say this and then I'm going to go ahead and shuffle again. For first, second, and third, I'm going to keep this one for everybody, okay? Now, we got 2 messages. Now, can you give one for the third Deacon, please? There we go. All right. Take a divinely guided change. Take a divinely guided chance. Okay. It says all positive change and successful ventures involve a degree of risk. And you are ready, you're ready to follow your divine guidance, to a new territory. All right. It says, as you leave behind that which is comfortable and familiar, but, no longer appropriate for you. All right. It says you make, room for new and more meaningful opportunities. So perhaps, there's something that you might want to let go of. Something that is not for you, no longer for you. Something possibly that you have outgrown. You know what I'm saying? It's time to move into a different territory. You would only know what that is for you. This is for the third Deacon. Sagittarius. So you would know, what is for you. As far as, moving into new and different territories. This is something that's going to probably take you out of your comfort zone, something that's going to possibly be scary, something that you're going to have to leave behind, you know what I'm saying? Something that is no longer appropriate for you. It could be anything. It could be a habit. Something that you think you can't let go of. It could even be a person. It could be a place, whatever. Something that you need to let go of. Something you need to let go of. Something in your heart, body, mind, and soul that is not, that's no longer appropriate for you. When you let these things go, you make room, for new and more meaningful opportunities. This is for the third deacon, okay? And with that being said, we have these two, okay? And these two cards right here that came out before that, and since they came out together, they make sense. That's why I kept them together. This is going to be for the first, second, and third deacon altogether. So technically, remember what I said about these. Everyone has their own personal card, first, second, and third, correct? Correct. And then you take all three of those cards together and you make one big message along with this message, okay? So this is what we have. We have detox your friendship. It says your abundance flow is being affected by the people, with whom you're spending time with. So be discerning about, your associations and relationships. Choose to be with people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. People who will support who you are, as an individual. Someone is not going to be so judgmental towards you. All right. And it says declutter. All right. It says you feel better and more focused if you'll take the time to clear away clutter from your, living and workspace. It says donate what basically donate things that you no longer need, to others, people who might need it. It says be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered, as well. So be sure to have your time free and open. Not all cluttered up with all these things that, you don't need to be doing, technically. Because I can, and I know a lot of us can, we can get onto, scrolling for once, you know what I'm saying? Looking at things, just doing too much of what it is that you don't need to be doing, letting go of things that no longer that are no longer appropriate for you. Anything that's not appropriate for you, you need to let it go. Looking at things too long, trying to associate everything. You know what I'm saying? When you need to disassociate a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Face your financial fears. Don't be holding on to things that you worry about that you already know for a fact you're going to be able to clear. You know what I'm saying? Things always work out for you when you walk into divine light. You know what I'm saying? Because you also have this windfall that's going to be coming your way. So let go of fears. You have nothing to fear when you have windfall coming your way. You don't have anything to fear when it comes to, your financial fears, okay? You don't even need to fear that because you have abundance coming your way. And be sure, when you do get this windfall of money, that whatever it is, gift or whatever is coming your way, take a divinely guided chance. You know what I'm saying? And be sure to change. You don't want to be doing any kind of things that are childish or be associating yourself with things that you don't need to be associating yourself with if you're going to be getting a windfall. Because what's going to happen to that windfall is just going to disintegrate into places you're going to be sitting back, looking and thinking and wishing you had not had done, So be sure to detox your friendship before. Detox things that are no good for you. Friendships, people, places, things, and declutter. Don't be holding on to things you don't need and you don't use when you already know you got a windfall that's going to be coming, because you're going to want to be bringing in new things and you don't want to be hoarding. Okay? And so, alright, so I hope you enjoyed this message. Just remember, windfall is coming. Face your financial fears. Take a divinely guided chance. Detox your friendships and declutter. What for you will be for you, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? You can be all strategic and try to plan things and, be wishing upon a star and do the most. So what's for you will be for you. God always has to say so, you know? And I love each and every one of you guys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you sooner than later. Deuces.
Don't you feel silly, guy? Can't say her name. No magic over the brain to contain you, just mad. Cause her vibes is so pretty to adjust. You are one to never trust. Your voice feels dead, dry roses, such a pity. You're so silly. You're so silly.